episode number 87. Nailed it. Knew the number the entire time.
Is it 87? I thought it was 86.
Could be 86. I don't even know. But I'm just going to – it is 87. Nailed it. We haven't done one of these since December 26th, which was following the Missouri game. And then we thought that they would play Florida A&M. That did not happen. And this game that's supposed to be played tonight at Minnesota was supposed to be on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
So, you know, there's been some things that have gone down for the Illini over the last week. So, you know, is what it is.
Well, COVID spike. I was looking at some of Brad's interview yesterday. 10 players tested positive, some mild, some more than mild symptoms. They talked about maybe some of them having to wear masks. I don't know if you saw in the Wisconsin game, Wisconsin-Purdue game last night, that there were guys that had masks on. So I don't know what they're going to do. I guess that's the new rule, right? 5 days, and then you got to wear a mask up to 10. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if that affects anything. But, yeah, got to play Minnesota tonight. Got to go to Minnesota after how many days off?
Let's see. Quick math. 11, 10. Well, do we count today as a day off? I guess not. 10 days.
I think Minnesota's been off the same amount of days. I think somebody said they haven't played since the 22nd.
Yep,
also.
They played the 22nd. Yep. So that'd be 11 days. I'm an idiot. 11 days.
That's close.
Really good math.
You tried.
Also, let's just get this out of the way. I feel like wearing a mask while playing basketball does absolutely nothing. But if they want to keep the charade going and keep the optics squarely, I think that's what they're going to do, which isn't surprising given the state of the NCAA, the state of the conferences. Most of the presidents of the conferences are absolute buffoons, and they just want to have a good image. And, it doesn't do anything. But if they want to go with it, it's pretty much high school bull crap, so they can do it.
Currently right now I have COVID. I don't know if you can tell by how I'm talking. It's just it's all here, and I couldn't imagine if going at I'm overweight and old anyways, but going to try to play basketball right now would be hard enough. To put a mask on while doing it would be even harder, I think. But of course, these are young, athletic guys, so I don't think that they're probably hurting as bad as me. But
I'm sure that the people who are in charge of all these rules and such of the conferences and the NCAA as a whole, they're very, into science and stuff. So they really like the science, but there's also no science whatsoever, to my recollection or knowledge, that anything can be transmitted in game. So this does nothing. And if they want to keep it going, go ahead. I mean, I don't care.
I think that, it's not transmissible after so many days, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I guess the I don't know if you call it a good thing, but 10 players have it or had it, so they should be good for the next.
Well, let me ask you this: do they have to test? Are they still testing after testing positive? Which is just ridiculous. That I do
not think they are. I did see something where he said that Brad said that they will not be testing now unless you're symptomatic.
Yep, that's smart. It should be at least a 90-day window where you don't have to test. So the NFL does. It's what other leagues are doing. They need to do this. And if you're going to get hit with it, then it's fine to get hit with it in January, other than in a spot. If it were February or March, it'd be much worse. But and
it sounds like they're going to have everybody, but Curbelo, of course, is still whatever's going on with him, and then Hutcherson. So.
Yeah, I mean, it just the idea that you should have to wear a mask while playing just makes no sense. You want to wear it elsewhere, other places, fine. But when you're playing, I don't understand it at all, and I'm never going to understand that. But it is what it is. I don't know if it's going to affect players and how they play tonight. If let's say Trent Frazier or someone like that has to wear a mask, is that going to affect?
I think the thing that's going to affect them the most is, I mean, the 10 players haven't been able to do anything for a week or 10 days or whatever it's been.
Have they practiced at all before this game?
Brad said that the guys that aren't positive had some conditioning and some weights and
4
stuff.
Guys?
But yeah, there hasn't been any practices per se from the sounds of it. So they've been locked up and secluded in a different area and, in separate rooms. And that's kind of, if it was me, I would have put them all together, let them all get it, and then they were good for the next 3 months. But,
When you have a team that, what do they really rely on? Shooting and Kofi inside. I feel like I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to not practice.
Yeah, that's my worry is them coming out, and you got to think they're going to be flat, and especially like you said, they rely so much on shooting and Plummer and Frazier.
A road game in a tough environment.
Yeah.
Against a team that's pretending to be good right now. That's going to be interesting.
They're 10-1, right? So.
Yeah, they beat Michigan, so I don't know what Michigan is at this point.
7-5 is what I think they are.
A lot of talent that's doing nothing to this point, I think is what Michigan would be categorized as. I don't know. It's different coach. I'm sure they're going to give you different looks. It's a different team. Minnesota is a much different team this year than they were last year. There's not very many guys that played for them last year that are still there. I guess Eric Curry was there last year, so he's one guy to think about. But they have an entirely new team.
And Eric Curry, he's going to be the guy that has to match up against Kofi, right? That's they really don't have a big.
And the other thing with that is that's a bit of a step down from Oturu and Liam Robbins. Even though Liam Robbins, Kofi killed him in the first matchup, in the second matchup he was quote unquote hurt. And that's when Illinois beat them by about 100. But one guy to think about here is Peyton Willis, guard, on his fourth or his second stint with Minnesota. 2 years at Vanderbilt, spent 2019-20 at Minnesota, then went to Charleston, then came back to Minnesota. So
interesting.
Very interesting there. He's playing a bigger role than he was then. That's going to be like a Frazier matchup, probably.
Guessing that he didn't like a particular coach at one time, liked the school but didn't like the coach, or
that's fair to say. I would say that this is a completely different coach than what they had before.
And the only good thing about if the guys are off shooting is that you have Kofi, right? You can pound the ball to him and just let him take over a game. So
the biggest matchup tonight is whoever is guarding Jamison Battle.
Yeah.
6'7", 18 points per game. That's whoever guards him is going to Grandison, right? You would think.
I would think. But
transfer from George Washington, averaged 17 points a game there last season. It's just like you look at their roster right now, and it's just a completely different team from last year. Because last year they had Booth Gotch, who couldn't shoot. They had Marcus Carr, who's at Texas now. They had Jamal Mashburn Jr. Like I said, they had Liam Robbins. So those guys are all transferred out. None of them really left college. They just transferred elsewhere.
Yeah.
Where did Booth – I think Booth Gotch went back to Utah or something like that.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
Robbins went to go play for that absolute clown show, Stackhouse at Vanderbilt. Marcus Carr, like I said, went to Texas. And then Mashburn Jr., I think, followed Patino to New Mexico. Or is it – New Mexico State, so irrelevant that I don't even know which is which. So whichever one he's at.
Yeah. That sounds right.
So, you're just not going to have Underwood. His ownership of Patino is not going to matter in this game.
That's true. Like you said, Minnesota's, I think, has surprised a lot of people so far, starting off 10-1. They played tough against Michigan State. They lost by 8, but they were in the game, I would say. They beat Michigan, like you said, at Michigan. So I think they're kind of a wild card right now. And, Illinois, I think they opened up at a 5.5. It's got pushed up to 7. So a lot of people are thinking Illinois is going to win this game handedly. But it's the Big Ten, and it's the Big Ten on the road. And as we saw last night, even when you're at home and you're the number 3 team in the nation in a Big Ten game, and the other team only has one player, it seems like, you can still lose. So they're going to have to show up. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough having this time off, not getting shots up. They rely heavily on getting, thousands of shots up is what they tell us, right? So I just hope they show up and can shoot. That's my biggest worry, is that they're going to shoot 43s and they're going to make like 7 of them. That's my biggest worry.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely something that could happen. I don't know. I think that the matchup in terms of size, definitely Illinois got a good look there. The thing with Minnesota is that they don't really have any small guards. Like EJ Stevens is 6'3", Sutherland is 6'5". So I don't know. Size-wise, you got to like the matchup because in terms of their guards, you don't have anything that's going to overpower you, I wouldn't think. But I think battle's got to be the number one focus here. And
yeah,
if they can figure out a way to shut him down, I think that they have a good chance to. It's a completely different look from last season, like I said, though, because last season it was a lot of Marcus Carr, who's a smaller guard that Trent can just lock up. This season, the guy that is your biggest threat is someone who's a lot lengthier and does different things, can score a lot of different ways. And this is a weird arena. Like I feel like shooting poorly there is something that happens for like half of the road teams out of 10 that go there. Every 5 out of 10 teams there can't shoot there. It's a weird venue. Last season with no fans was one of the weirdest. Like out of all the games that Illinois played last season on the road with no fans, Minnesota was one of the weirdest.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you had, Curbelo flying off of the court whenever he went down and slid right into the stands. So it's a weird place.
When do you think we see Curbelo back? Ever?
Early February, I think would be probably. I just don't. Underwood saying the same stuff every
time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's huge right now. Illinois, 2-0 in the Big Ten, can have a chance to move to 3-0. Nobody thought Purdue was going to start out 1-2. 3-0 gets you tied with Michigan State and Ohio State, who seem to be. Ohio State is really good right now. They're a scary team, and I don't think that. I mean, I think they're getting a little bit more respect, but a chance to start out 3-0. It's a game they need to win. I think, and need to win, but it'd be a big one if they lost it. To lose to Minnesota, who a lot of people thought would be at the bottom. To stay in the running with Michigan State and Ohio State, they definitely need to win this game. So.
This is their first true road game at Minnesota since January 30th of 2019. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, they lost that game by 11. That was a better Minnesota team. That was a Minnesota team that went 22-14 and made it to the tournament, and they won a round. And that was an Illinois team that won 12 games. So it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, they've beaten Minnesota. They beat them by 8 on January 30th, 2020, right before the season got shut down. Last season, first matchup, they beat them by a lot of points. I would say that's fair to say, 27.
Yeah.
And then the second matchup last year was just even more embarrassing. What was that? 31.
Yeah.
So yeah, they beat them up. But this year's different. Like I said, different team, different coach. We don't have.
I mean, honestly, looking at the players, you would think that it's not as good of a team as last year, right? I mean,
it's not. I don't think it is, but I think they're better coached. I think it's different coaching. I think it's coaching that works in the Big Ten now.
Fan.
Absolutely. But it's just, I think the coaching style that Ben Johnson has, who is the coach of Minnesota. I got that off the top of my head, by the way. Nice try trying to get me on that one, everybody. But I think that the style that he has works in the Big Ten better. The younger coach, players coach, Juwan Howard, similar. It works that way. I don't know who else I could say. I mean, I feel like Shrewsbury at Penn State's probably that type of coach, but they are just a really bad roster. So it's different. Like there's more. Minnesota did more turnover than almost anybody in terms of roster, but they got guys who are like proven good players. Like Jamison Battle was very good at George Washington.
Yeah.
You can't say the same about what Penn State has. Like Penn State, their like third best player last season was Brockington, and now he's like the greatest thing ever at Iowa State. So Minnesota's just different. Different look. A lot of guys you're going to see not there from last season. So just win. I mean, Ken Palm says Illinois wins by 5. Good news here is that Minnesota's literally one of the worst teams in the country at rebounding on the offensive end. So 358th offensive rebound percentage.
So Illinois should dominate the board. So
it would tell you that, but also I feel like it won't happen that way.
Probably not.
Maybe, I mean, they're pretty efficient in terms of scoring, so I wonder if maybe they're just not having a ton of opportunities to rebound the ball offensively. And they're
true.
I mean, if you look at another stat, effective field goal percentage, Minnesota 54th, Illinois 10th, advantage there. And obviously the biggest discrepancy is, like I said, 358th in offensive rebounding percentage, Illinois second. So that is an emphasis that you shouldn't be missing shots in the first place, okay? Unacceptable to be missing shots. But it's an interesting number, because the D1 average for offensive rebound percentage is 28.5%, which I think is a different stat than what I think it is, but it still sounds good, okay?
Okay.
Minnesota 16%. No, so that's 12. That's minus 12. Illinois is 41% plus 13. Plus 13 versus minus 12. That's a 25-point difference, give or take. So just think about the offensive boards, okay, Kofi and others? Grandison.
Yeah. Get a lot of boards.
I want to see 50 to 21 in boards.
Okay. If you look at the season average, Illinois is like 43 and Minnesota is like 33. So
yeah, you would think
should out rebound them.
So who are we going to get on the call tonight, you think?
Fox Sports.
Godden and Bardo, probably, if I had to guess. Probably. I'm going to find out right here, right now, what I'm going to do. Here we go. Corey Provis. Don't know who that is. And Bardo. And, of course, this Provis fellow, while he went to Syracuse, he's the Twins radio play-by-play announcer and is from Minnesota or lives in Minnesota. So get ready to mute it, folks, okay?
You don't ever listen to him anyways, do you?
It depends. I mean, Hummel, I like Hummel. I think people really like Hummel these days. I've been seeing some tweets about how great he is. But Bardo, I can't do that. It's too much. It's one of those situations where you want to like him because he went to the place that you're of the team that you're rooting for, but
yep,
it's just over the top. And when are we going to get those ESPN games? Illinois was on ESPN like every day last year.
I don't know.
Let me look. I'm going to look at the schedule right here, right now.
All right.
What's starting lineup tonight? Go.
Same as it has been. Grandison.
It's been so long I forgot.
Frazier. Plummer.
DeMonte. Hawkins never play. Okay.
Hawkins will get 7 minutes.
The beautiful thing about the Big Ten is the schedule and the perception of the difficulty of the schedule evolves like every day. Like looking at January 17th against Purdue, you're like, that's a game you could win. Because Purdue, let's be honest, I think they'll get better from what happened last night, but Purdue is just not even trying defensively. Like, I don't know what the hell is up with that.
Yeah, they got outscored by like 7. Was it 16-5 in the paint in the first half?
You have a 7'7" dude pretty much, and another 6'10" guy who weighs like
that 7'7" dude just elbows everybody in the face as he goes to the basket too.
I feel like that's something hard to prevent when you're 7'7".
It's true. And the fact that Wisconsin fouled out literally every big they had and still won that game is unreal.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, Wisconsin's a team that I was, Wisconsin and Iowa were teams that I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I guess there were some people that thought Wisconsin would be, decent, good.
I don't think anybody thought that Johnny Davis would elevate to what he's.
You shut down Johnny Davis. Who else do they have though?
Brad Davison sometimes can make some threes.
Yeah, he'll throw a few in there, but
Tyler Wall's an interesting wing. He's got some skills. He's just not that consistent. Yeah. They don't scare me at all in the paint, which whatever happened last night, I don't think it's going to happen very many more times. Northwestern's another team that's good that I didn't think would be good. The team that I was right about, I think, is Maryland. Maryland stinks. Okay, I said that. It's true. It's a fact. But you look at the schedule, that's who Illinois has next Thursday, Maryland. So they got one day off in between games. That's going to be probably tough. But then you get a bit of a break. Then you go to Omaha they play in Omaha, right? Lincoln.
Yeah.
They play in Lincoln.
Lincoln.
I'm an idiot. What an idiot. I mean, there's literally two cities in Nebraska that anybody cares about, and I picked the wrong one.
I mean, Nebraska should have beat Ohio State the other night too.
Yeah, well,
they gave that away. Literally gave that away.
And then it was pretty much the same game as the Illinois-Nebraska game last season at Nebraska, where Nebraska just couldn't stop Iowa at the end, and that's what happened. In the Michigan game, interesting game. Probably one you should win at this point, especially at home. Purdue, like I said, interesting. You got to think they'll be better. Maryland, again, I think that Illinois is going to sweep Maryland this season. Why not? Why not? Michigan State, they got some really good teams coming to Champaign. Like Michigan, I still think Michigan will be good. I don't know how good, not as good as everybody thought they'd be, but Purdue's good, Michigan State's good. Those teams are both coming there in January, and then they end the month at Northwestern, which I feel like this is the time where Northwestern's probably going to start to crumble, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Chris Collins is not the best at, getting his team to play hard for an entire season. I feel like that's, fair to say.
Yeah.
He's not the best at that, but get us on ESPN, folks. Okay. I mean, we got like the best team in the country that's not ranked, which how are they not ranked still? I feel like there cannot be 25 better teams.
26, right?
I think so.
Point differential between 25 and 26, but
let's also think about this. The same types of people who vote for the AP Top 25 and make their picks are the same people that think Villanova is good.
True.
So I feel like that's a bit of an issue. Jay Billis is an idiot for that. But
I mean, I think if you win both games,
they'll be ranked
this week. They'll be ranked 4-0 in the Big Ten.
I feel like it's a lot to ask for them to win both of these games.
I mean, the only good thing is that Maryland's at home, right?
Remember the last time they played Maryland at home?
The
last two times Maryland at home. You had the Friday night game where Illinois was dominating, and then they completely choked. I guess the last three times, okay, but two of them were at home. They choked the one Friday night one last season. They just had a weird loss, and then the one that they choked at Maryland was just brutal.
Yeah.
So I hate Maryland, okay? I think I might set the record for the most okays in one episode of this program, okay?
I don't think you called anybody trash this episode, though.
Jay Billis, I mean, pretty close.
True.
So I think the bottom line is ESPN, here we come. Maryland's ESPN 2 on Thursday. Michigan State on the 25th is ESPN or ESPN 2. Indiana's an ESPN or ESPN 2 game. Purdue in February, same thing. They got the big national stuff a couple weeks in February. Michigan State on Fox, Michigan on CBS. How about that? Boom.
Nice.
You think the tournament's going to be in a bubble again this season? I don't think it will be.
I don't know.
Isn't there too much money involved for them to do that again?
It depends how quick this spike runs through, because literally everybody has COVID right now.
Which should equal herd immunity, which should equal do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it depends how quickly the spike runs through. And
well, the quote powers that be.
It should be through by February.
You would think, yeah. But then the powers that be, quote unquote, the people that are quote unquote elected, quote unquote, don't want to give up their power. So I feel like there's still going to be things in place. But
I mean, right now, COVID's worse than it ever was when a certain other person was in power and nothing shut down. So
yeah,
that doesn't tell you something right there.
I heard.
I don't want to get into the political.
I heard that it was.
But
I heard that it was just going to be stopped. I heard that the new guy could just look at it and it'd be done.
It's literally worse than it's ever been right now, and everything's still open. So I don't know if they'll ever shut down everything again. But
well, I'm sure there'll be another variant in a few months, and then another one after that.
There's going to be variants forever.
The good thing is that, as I'm pretty sure, and I'm like a scientist pretty much. Okay, so you should definitely listen to me on this one. I'm pretty sure that as each variant pops up, it gets weaker as you go. I think. Don't take my word on that, because this is an Illini basketball podcast, but I'm pretty sure I nailed that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on the spread being 7 tonight?
It seems high.
It feels way too high. I don't care if Minnesota's good or
I
not.
heard it started at 5.5, which I thought it started at 7. But anyways,
It should be like 4 at the most, I think.
I think that I don't think Minnesota has a lot of depth.
Meanwhile, I did pick Illinois to cover, and I mentioned about the spread.
I don't think they have a answer for Kofi, and I think that Illinois is. I mean, coming into this before the 11 days off, Illinois was really hot. I mean, they're shooting
smoking
the ball
hot.
Well,
if anything's going to shut down their 3-pointers, we were talking about this. What's going to stop it? It might be this.
It might be, but yeah. So I guess that's what they go off. Vegas is trying to make money somehow, so they're going to put a spread where they can make money. I don't know.
Minnesota +7. Everyone's going to be hammering it. Everyone.
True.
Hammer
it seems if it started at 5.5, it seems like everyone was hammering Illinois -5.5. So
I'm going to find out what it opened at right here, right now. Actually, I don't even know how to do that.
I don't know. I saw a guy say that it opened at 5.5. So
yeah, I feel like given the barn is a pretty hard place to play, and you got to think they're pumped because there's a relevant team coming to town. Like listen to the teams that Minnesota's played at home this season. Okay, here we go. UMKC. You think anybody's coming to town for that? Purdue, Fort Wayne. Seriously? Jacksonville. Michigan State did come to town. That's the one team. And then Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, who they only beat by 8, by the way.
Yeah, they've had a lot of close games against not very good teams.
They've played 3 good teams this season. 3 teams. Actually, I'll say 4 teams that I would categorize as good. One is a fringe good team. Michigan State's good. Mississippi State's good. They beat Mississippi State. That's a great win. Michigan, I still think, like I said, they're good. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them, but I still categorize them as good. And then Western Kentucky, I think, is on the fringe. I think they're pretty good. They beat Louisville, but then Kentucky destroyed them. So yeah. I don't know. And how about all these people that are throwing like, who the hell did they put in there? Some moron for Player of the Year. It's just not fair, Who's Player of the Year candidates right now? Go ahead.
I don't have any idea, dude.
Well, the list that I saw said E.J. Liddell,
yeah,
and that's what I was going to say.
It's a Goodman, though. That's what he does, right?
Well,
he's a freaking moron.
Well, I think
he literally left out Kofi and Sheboy because he knows the Illini and Kentucky fan bases are crazy, and that his notifications go blip, 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 blip.
That's true. I didn't think of that, but also like
that's exactly what
Sheboy. There's no way that I would put Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith is going to be a top 3 pick in the draft. I don't care. Sheboy is averaging like 100 points and 90. He's like Wilt Chamberlain, okay? Yeah. And we're going to be like, oh, Jabari Smith's this big-time, cool freshman. I mean, come on.
He's averaging like 16 a game. Last night that Davis would be a lottery pick.
Who? Oh.
Davis. That's his name, right? Johnny Davis?
I feel like he probably will be, yeah.
How are his numbers better than Io's ever were?
Well, you're forgetting a couple things.
1 year. It's 1 year.
He's younger. It's a big factor.
It's 1 year.
Look at what happened to Io. Look at Io and Jason Preston. That's a perfect example.
It's dumb.
It is dumb. Goodman tweeted this morning. You can make a legit case that all of the top 5 players in the Big Ten might right now deserve first-team All-American status. And the hilarious part is that he left out Trace Jackson Davis, which I am a big fan of. Johnny Davis, E.J. Liddell, Keegan Murray, Kofi Coburn, Jaden Ivey. And then people are saying, Jamison Battle, where's Jamison Battle? And he's not on there. And then someone said Kofi was outplayed by Koloko, but the guy's an idiot and typed Kolonko. Hey, West Coast bias at JV at J Velasquez 623. You're an idiot. Spell it right, you moron. Kofi still had a double-double in that game. Idiot. What an idiot.
All right. Predictions. Are we done?
Did I give you?
We made it 30 minutes somehow.
That's pretty good. Without even knowing what was going to happen on this, so nailed it. Illinois wins by whatever I said, 70 something.
You got Illinois
72-63.
72-63. I got Illinois 71-67. I hope they win. I got this jersey for Christmas. If they lose, I probably have to never wear it again. So,
what are they wearing tonight? You think? I'm feeling it's going to be a Navy night.
Oh, I thought they burned all their Navy jerseys.
Well, the jersey that you have and the orange one that says "Fighting Illini"
I think it's orange.
Should be the only jerseys. The other ones are garbage.
I think it's orange. They had pictures of them.
Good.
Illinois basketball. I don't know. They're wearing orange.
So what do you think of the fact that they moved this game to today instead of postponing it down the road?
I think it's great. I think that's how it should be.
I mean, Illinois, at least they're not ending up
2 games in 3 days, so I don't know how I feel. And they got to travel, and they got guys that maybe have sicknesses. I don't know.
Well, going from Minnesota to back home is much better than going from Minnesota to Maryland.
True.
And real quick before we get out of here, a team like UCLA, what the hell has happened there? Haven't played since December 11th. I mean, is that like other teams having issues?
Yeah, I think the last few games have been other teams.
Just play like
I think they had like the 10 days.
Well, California may as well be like 30 days.
And then I think that they were supposed to play Arizona State, which Arizona State's postponed. So I don't know. But yeah, like I don't know why teams aren't trying to schedule somebody else like
Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's pretty good. I mean, I don't know if that game's on TV, but I would watch it if it is because they did it so late.
Be a tough night for our Illini with no practice. Yeah, that's my only worry. Like I said before, the only good thing is you can chuck the ball down to Kofi and let him slam on everybody.
You know they won't do that. They'll come out like 10.
How many turnovers do they have in the first 5 minutes?
11.
Okay.
Feels like a fair number. Set the over-under. 11.
I mean, yeah, 11 sounds fair to me.
And total turnovers, we're going to say 33 over-under. I'll take the over. 36 turnovers tonight.
Okay.
So hopefully, you got to think Plummer is a guy that can shoot no matter what. So
I agree.
He'll make some. And there'll be openings too. I feel like the Minnesota seems like the type of team that's going to just plan completely for Kofi to dominate.
And I feel like Grandison's the same way. I feel like his shot is soft enough that he can make it anytime. I feel like Frazier's more of the streaky shooter than those two.
And we don't know what the hell DeMonte is as a shooter right now. So
DeMonte,
best of luck.
He might come out and make 8 of them. Who knows?
Good, he better. All right, that'll do it for us. We will be back. I don't even.
Tomorrow, I guess, right?
Either that or Thursday.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I'm not out of quarantine until Friday, so it doesn't matter to me.
All right, we'll be back. Illinois better win tonight. We'll see you for episode 88 whenever that.